Tonight, while you sleep, millions of male praying mantises will approach their mates for what they believe is reproduction. They have no idea they're walking into an execution chamber. Picture this. You're on a romantic dinner date. Everything seems perfect. Your partner smiles sweetly across the table. Then, mid-conversation, they calmly reach over and bite your head off. Literally, while you're still conscious, still trying to complete the evening's purpose. This isn't a horror movie. This is Tuesday night for Mantis religiosa, the praying mantis, where love literally costs you your head, and evolution designed it that way for a reason so twisted it challenges everything we think we know about reproduction and survival. The female doesn't just kill her mate. She methodically consumes him while his headless body continues the very act that brought him to his death. His nervous system keeps functioning, his body keeps moving, completing nature's most macabre transaction. What you're about to discover will change how you see the phrase, "till death do us part." Because for mantises, death is the part that matters most. Hit subscribe and tell me in the comments, what's the most extreme thing you've done for love? Stay with me. This gets darker. Meet Mantis religiosa. In the insect world, she's a goddess of precision. 6 inches of pure predatory perfection wrapped in an elegant green exoskeleton. Those iconic prayer position arms, they're not praying. They're waiting. Loaded with razor-sharp spines designed to impale victims in 30 milliseconds. But here's where evolution took a disturbing turn. While most predators hunt strangers, the female mantis has perfected something far more sinister. She hunts her lovers. Sexual cannibalism, the scientific term that makes evolutionary biologists uncomfortable at dinner parties. Because unlike random violence, this is calculated, purposeful, and benefits both the species and the individual in ways that shouldn't make sense, but absolutely do. You see, when a male mantis dies during mating, he doesn't just provide genetic material. He becomes genetic material. His protein-rich body transforms into eggs, quite literally turning his death into new life. Evolution's most romantic tragedy. But the female's decision isn't random. She's performing complex biological calculations in real time. Hunger levels, male quality, environmental factors, seasonal timing. She's running evolutionary algorithms while deciding whether tonight's date lives or dies. The male knows the risks. His species has been playing this deadly lottery for 400 million years, yet he approaches anyway. Why? Because some biological drives are stronger than self-preservation. Let's enter the mind of a creature where love and death aren't opposites. They're business partners. The courtship begins at dusk. Male mantises emerge from their hiding spots driven by pheromones that promise reproduction, but deliver something far more complex. What happens next isn't random violence. It's one of nature's most calculated business transactions. Dr. Catherine Barry from Oxford University spent 3 years documenting mantis mating behavior. Her findings shattered romantic notions about animal courtship. The female isn't a mindless killer, Barry explains. She's making strategic decisions based on survival mathematics we're only beginning to understand. Here's the process. A male approaches, performing an elaborate dance. He rocks back and forth, displaying his fitness while staying just outside her strike range. The female watches with compound eyes that detect the slightest movement. She's not just evaluating his genetic quality, she's calculating his nutritional value. If she's well-fed, he might survive. If she's hungry, particularly during late season when resources are scarce, his fate is sealed before he knows it. The decision happens in milliseconds, but it's based on evolutionary programming millions of years in the making. When she strikes, it's surgical. Those prayer position arms snap forward with the speed of a bullet, spines piercing his head precisely behind the eyes. Death is instant for his brain, but here's where it gets disturbing. His body doesn't know it's dead. The male's nervous system continues functioning independently. His abdomen, controlled by ganglia separate from his brain, carries on with mating. The female, meanwhile, begins methodically consuming his head, chewing through compound eyes, antennae, and brain tissue while reproduction continues below. This isn't malfunction, it's perfect biological engineering. The male's headless body actually performs better at transferring sperm, Without a brain sending conflicting signals, his reproductive organs operate at peak efficiency. His death literally optimizes the process that justifies his death. But the female's cannibalism serves an even darker purpose than nutrition. By consuming her mate, she's not just feeding herself, she's converting his proteins directly into eggs. His body becomes her offspring. In the most literal sense possible, he becomes the father by becoming the children. The mathematics of mantis cannibalism reveal evolution's most brutal cost-benefit analysis. Dr. William Brown from Cambridge conducted feeding experiments that exposed the horrifying efficiency of the system. When females consume their mates, they produce 20% more eggs. Not just bigger eggs, more viable offspring with better survival rates. Think about that equation. One male's death directly translates to additional lives. From evolution's perspective, this isn't murder, it's investment optimization. The male's individual existence becomes less valuable than his potential as raw materials for the next generation. But females aren't indiscriminate killers. Research shows they're incredibly selective about when to commit cannibalism. During abundant food seasons, males have an 80% survival rate. When resources are scarce, that drops to 15%. The female's hunger doesn't just influence her decision, it overrides every other consideration. The male's behavior reveals even more disturbing calculations. Males that encounter well-fed females perform elaborate, lengthy courtship displays. But when approaching hungry females, they skip most of the ritual and attempt immediate mating. They somehow know the difference between a romantic encounter and a death sentence. Some males have evolved desperate survival strategies. They approach only when females are feeding on other prey, hoping distraction will save them. Others bring nuptial gifts, captured insects offered as alternative food sources. It's essentially paying for sex with someone else's life. The most successful males have developed what scientists call stealth mating. They approach from behind while females are occupied, achieving reproduction before being detected. But even this carries risks. If caught mid-process, the punishment is always the same. What's particularly disturbing is how females manipulate this system. Some females will partially consume a male, leaving just enough alive to continue mating but ensuring he can't escape. They're essentially creating living reproductive tools, keeping males in a state between life and death for optimal sperm transfer. This isn't random brutality. Every aspect of mantis sexual cannibalism has been refined by millions of years of evolutionary pressure. The result is a mating system so efficiently cruel, it makes human horror films look naive. The neurochemistry of mantis cannibalism reveals something even more disturbing than the act itself. The female's brain chemistry changes during the process. Scientists monitoring neural activity discovered that consuming her mate triggers massive dopamine releases, the same chemical associated with pleasure and reward in human brains. Dr. Sarah Chen's groundbreaking research at Tokyo University used microelectrodes to monitor female mantis brain activity during cannibalistic mating. The results were unsettling. The female's brain treats mate consumption as a highly rewarding experience, Chen reported. Her neurochemistry is literally programmed to find pleasure in killing her partner. But the male's neurological response is equally fascinating and horrifying. Even after decapitation, his nervous system continues operating for up to 4 hours. The spinal ganglia controlling reproduction actually increase activity after brain death. His body becomes more sexually productive once his head is removed. This creates a disturbing feedback loop. The female experiences neurochemical rewards for killing, while the male's death enhances his reproductive performance. Evolution has created a system where murder improves sex for both participants, one alive, one dead. The timing of cannibalism isn't random either. Females who consume males during mating produce offspring with superior stress resistance and longer lifespans. The proteins from fresh male tissue, consumed while still warm, provide optimal nutrition for developing eggs. It's not just food, it's performance enhancement. Recent studies reveal that females can taste test males before deciding their fate. Chemical receptors in their mandibles analyze male tissue quality in real time. High-protein, healthy males are more likely to be consumed because they offer better nutritional returns. Ironically, being a superior male increases your chances of being eaten, The female's digestive system has evolved specifically for processing mate tissue. Special enzymes activated only during reproductive periods break down male proteins with unusual efficiency. She's literally evolved to be better at digesting boyfriends than regular prey. What's most disturbing is how this affects the species' social structure. In areas where food is scarce, mantis populations develop higher rates of male avoidance behaviors. Males become increasingly paranoid and aggressive, creating a society where romantic approach equals potential suicide mission. The evolutionary implications of mantis cannibalism extend far beyond individual relationships. They're reshaping our understanding of sexual selection itself. Traditional evolution focused on males competing for females. But mantis society reveals something darker. Females actively selecting which males deserve to live through the mating process. Dr. Rebecca Martinez from the University of São Paulo documented how this affects entire mantis populations over generations. In regions with high cannibalism rates, males evolve smaller body sizes and faster mating behaviors. They're literally evolving to be less nutritious and more efficient at reproduction before death. This creates an evolutionary arms race with disturbing dynamics. As males become smaller and quicker, females develop enhanced hunting reflexes and stronger mandibles. Each generation becomes better at killing or avoiding death during sex. Evolution is optimizing both predator and prey aspects of reproduction simultaneously. The female's reproductive cycle shows how deeply cannibalism is integrated into mantis biology. Females who don't consume at least one mate during breeding season produce 40% fewer viable eggs. Their bodies actually require the specific proteins found in male tissue for optimal egg development. Male consumption isn't optional, it's biologically necessary. But here's where it gets truly unsettling. Some females have evolved to prefer the taste of their own species over regular prey. Chemical analysis reveals that male mantis tissue contains unique amino acid combinations not found in other insects. Females have developed specialized taste preferences for their own kind. This cannibalistic preference creates psychological changes too. Females who consume multiple mates during a season become increasingly aggressive toward all males, including their own offspring. The act of killing partners appears to trigger behavioral changes that affect all future social interactions. Recent research suggests this system might be spreading to other species. Several closely related insects show increasing rates of sexual cannibalism in areas where mantis populations are high. It's as if the behavior is evolutionarily contagious, spreading through insect communities like a survival strategy virus. The ultimate question remains: is this evolution's peak efficiency or its darkest mistake? The mantis has created a reproductive system so perfectly brutal that love and death aren't just connected, they're the same biological process. Tonight, as millions of male praying mantises approach their potential mates, they're not just risking rejection. They're betting their lives on a biological lottery where the house always wins. Evolution has created a species where the ultimate expression of love is literally giving one's life and one's mate consuming it. The praying mantis shows us that nature's solutions to survival challenges can be more extreme than any human imagination. When resources are limited and reproduction is critical, evolution doesn't choose the gentle path. It chooses the efficient. These tiny creatures perform acts that would be considered psychopathic in any other context, but are perfectly normal behaviors, refined by millions of years of natural selection. The praying mantis reminds us that nature's moral compass points to survival, not sentimentality. Every mantis mating is a transaction where the genetic future is bought with immediate death, and somehow, both sides of this deadly bargain benefit. If this glimpse into nature's dark side fascinated you, subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone who needs to know this story, like it, and comment below. What's the most extreme animal behavior you've ever heard of? Turn on the notification bell. The natural world has more secrets to reveal than you can imagine. See you next time.